Welcome back to Blind Man Morris, and this video is about the 1098 Traveller and is a helpful video for Morris Minor owners who've just come under Morris Minor ownership or new owners looking to buy a Morris and to see which one to go for and which variant to go for. And today we're going to be looking at the Traveller, and this is a very late Traveller. This is 1971, one of the last to be produced. It's probably the most up to date in a manner of speaking. So inside here we've got a 1098 engine linked to a 4-speed manual gearbox and a 4.2 differential, and it's got the HS2 carburettor, and this one's been converted to an alternator, quite common actually on Morris's, but we would have been running a dynamo.
Much larger battery.
Yeah, that's not normal.
No, it's much larger battery. It still does to have a control box, but it would be, of course, it's a dummy.
That's a dummy control box.
Control box. It's just a pass-through because it's got an alternator on it.
Yeah, but this one's been upgraded with halogen headlights, remote brake reservoir, and a front disc conversion. Over to you, love.
If you notice also, if you saw the previous video talking about the Series 2, this radiator is not domed, so this is a later radiator, just to show the difference. And also you might have noticed in the previous video the air filter, so this one has got the later air filter, that one there like that, just to show you the difference. There's a few other differences, isn't it? A catch can on this one. Yeah,
there's a bit of variation in engine breathing. They're pretty much the same, really.
And a much larger heater hose. That's the important thing to say as well. So the Series 2 didn't have a heater at all, and we'll show you in the saloon that when it doesn't have such a big heater, but this one has got a heater hose.
That's the air intake to the back of the heater. The heater hoses themselves are standard.
The same, yeah.
But this is the air intake which leads into the back of the heater, which gives you a real boost in heating throughout the cab. So the air comes into the grille at the front air, and then goes straight into the cab to the back of the heater, and then blows into the cab. And actually, this is a lot of people think Morris is cold during winter. We drive all our cars all year round. The only one who's cold is Libby because it hasn't got a heater. This one has, and you literally just open the vent, and the hot air just blows through. Like it's basically like having a hairdryer on. I think it's quite effective, isn't it?
It is quite effective, but let's go to the back, because the reason people get Travellers is because of the space. So we'll just walk down the side. Obviously the consideration with a Traveller is also the fact you've got the wood to look after, and that's an important consideration because it is structural in terms of the car. So you've got the doors at the back, so this gives completely different visibility, and so we'll show that when we're driving, but it's got really good visibility. The doors are going to pop out. Huge amounts of room here, loads and loads of room, but you can also, and we've done a video on this actually, drop the back seat down, and that gives you the entire back almost like the size of a Morris Minor van.
Yeah,
it's huge, isn't it?
Shall we show them?
Yeah.
We should stop filming there a minute.
While John is dropping the back seat down, I'll just also say that if you've got, we don't have dogs, but we've got children, if you've got kids and dogs, they are brilliant, absolutely brilliant. Loads of room to put stuff in if you're going camping, stuff like that. And the side windows on either side, they slide, and our children have always enjoyed that because you can slide them back on their runners. There we go, look at that.
You have a van.
It's an enormous amount of space. You could be going to the tip, you could be buying furniture, you could be
moving house. People used to move house in these.
Absolutely incredible. You're going to get in there? There you go. You're going to go to sleep now? No. There we go. Simple as that, and you're in and done. So now we will go around and sit inside the car.
So here we are in the cabin of our late Traveller 1971. Pretty standard instrumentation panel here. You've got, this is a windscreen washer. Basically it's the water pistol type. There we go. Windscreen wiper switch. The ignition would have been here, it's been moved. Your light switch and your choke, and there is your speedo with all the other lights and everything on it.
Then you've got the heater below that.
Smith square type.
Yep.
Yeah.
And then you've also got the warning lights built into the Speedo. So you've got the oil oppression warning light, the high beam, and the ignition warning light. You can see them all there, and the indicator light as well. They're all built into the Speedos. That's a big difference, isn't it?
Yes.
And the indicator is over on the right here, on that side. And you've got an open glove box on the right and a closed glove box on the left, and a parcel shelf as well.
And this one, because it's one of the later ones, were fitted standard with front seat belts and a steering lock as standard.
Oh yeah,
There you go,
yeah.
steering
There we
lock.
go. Got steering lock on it. A bigger mirror, much bigger mirror on this one.
And visibility, you have a swing round so you can see the visibility front and sides. Loads of glass, clear view all round. So unlike the earlier Morris, which had the old clap hand windscreen wipers, and on the Series 2 clap hand windscreen wipers with 8-inch blades, they did move later from the mid 60s right through till 71 to, I'll just get some water on the screen so they don't work dry, side to side ones.
Yeah.
Which were effective, more effective, especially when they've got new wipers, a decent windscreen wiper motor. They're only 1 speed, but we've had this in torrential rain and it's absolutely fine. As long as you keep your windscreens nice and clean, which we do, you don't tend to get the mess on there and the water sticking to the screen, so your visibility is good. Your visibility is good in a Traveller anyway, so there's no issue with that. Heat is good, visibility is good. Comfort, love, over to you.
So I would say to drive it, and we will drive this in a minute and show you, it feels larger to drive than the Saloon, and certainly than the Series 2. It is very comfortable. The Series 2 seats are spectacular. These are also comfortable as well.
Yeah.
What I would say is that with a Traveller, it's the room. If you've got kids, dogs, family, you want to chuck a load of stuff in
And go.
Oh, it's just amazing, isn't it?
I think it's probably the most practical classic car you could buy.
Yeah.
Because it keeps up with modern traffic. It's economical. It's cheap to run. If you can keep it on top of the wood and the body at the same time. I mean, this is 55 years old now, and it's the youngest Morris you can buy, basically. And we still use it around the farm.
Yeah.
We carry coal in it. We carry animal feed, straw
food.
bales,
Wood.
wood. We get weekly shopping in it. We drive a minimum of over 100 miles a week. It eats up dual carriageway driving. It happily sits at 55 to 60 miles an hour all day long. Hardly uses any oil, actually, this one. It's just a brilliant old bus, isn't it?
Yeah, it's really, really good. They are incredibly practical. So that's the overview.
Well, let's take it for a test drive.
Yep.
I won't be driving.
Okay, so I'm coming up to the junction. I'm at standstill now. I'm in first. We're at 10 miles an hour. Going into second. Just coming up to 20 miles an hour. 25 miles an hour into third. And 40 miles an hour, I've gone into fourth. So this is a 1098cc engine with a 4.2 differential and an HS2 carburettor with no modifications to it. Just going around the bicycle. And you can probably hear, I don't know if you'll be able to hear the comparison to the others, they just have a little bit more wind noise because of the back doors. And when you're driving it, it does feel larger to drive because it's a larger vehicle overall. So this has got standard suspension front and back. It's got disc brakes on the front. And it absorbs it fairly similar to the Saloons. It will have more leaves on the back, won't it, on the suspension, John?
Yeah, so the leaves on the back, there's 7 of them, which gives you a slightly stiffer ride, but it's better for load carrying, that's what it's about. And so we're going to see what it's like through town in a minute.
so we're in town now. We're driving through town, 30-mile-an-hour zone. So this is going to drive fairly similar to the saloons. The 948 with the 4.5 diff, I would say, is a bit more nippy in between traffic, whereas this car is much more suited to both town driving, but also the longer distance cruising as well, isn't it?
Yeah, yeah.
We do take this one more if we're going to do our supermarket shopping, because it's easy to put stuff in the back. We have for many years put our supermarket shopping in the back of a saloon.
Yeah, yeah, it's fine.
Yeah.
Visibility?
Yeah, you've got really good visibility at the back with the big doors at the back. You've got a lot of glass down the right-hand side, left-hand side, because of the sliding windows. And I mentioned those earlier, I think, but they're really good with kids because you can slide them open a bit and they can have a bit of air coming in. And I think they have quite a lot of room in the back as well. We'd have to ask our teenager that and see if it compares to the saloon, but yeah. Okay, so we're just going through town, a few roundabouts, sets of lights, etc. So what you would notice, the difference between a saloon and a traveller, is that the 948 and the 1098 with the different diffs, so 4.5 on the 948 versus the 4.2, is it's probably quicker out of junctions with the 4.5. It's very little in it, do you think? But there is a very slight margin of difference.
It's saloons. I think the saloons are slightly lighter, and therefore the 948 saloon with a 4.5 depth is going to be slightly nippier out of a junction than a traveller. But I don't think there's a massive amount of difference.
It depends what sort of driving you're going to be doing. We do a mixture, so we do sort of countryside and A roads, and then also through town quite a lot. So either of those would be fine in both scenarios. If you were going to do a lot of town driving, the 948 would be great, wouldn't it?
Yeah, it's brilliant. Yeah.
If you're going to do a lot of cruising on the larger roads, the big A roads, etc., then probably the 4.2 with the 1098 is going to be good. So
Yeah.
And the roundabout here. And in a minute, we'll get on the open road.
Do a bit of cruising.
Alright, so here we are, going down Cane Hill with the locks, the flight of locks to the right of us. You can't see them, but they are to the right of us. And you can see that it's cruising nice and smoothly, about 55 miles an hour down this dual track here. So very smooth, and
It's not. It doesn't struggle.
Yeah.
Yeah, it doesn't struggle.
Let me slow down there a bit, keep all down there. There we go. I hope that's useful. Whatever you get a Morris.
Yeah, definitely. Or an Austin 10 Cambridge from 1938. They're pretty groovy. And we'll see you next time.